for our next speaker. He is from the University of Louisville. Now, for those of you that aren't familiar, this is something that is taken very seriously where he goes to school. It is one syllable, Louisville. It is not Louisville, it is not Louisville, it's Louisville, which we were corrected a few times earlier today. So I'd like you to put a good round of applause together for my friend, your brother, Zack Hibbs from Louisville, one of your own undergraduates, class of 2014.
Thank you for that. And again, Louisville, yeah, it's just one syllable. And I'm happy to be here. My name is Zack Hibbs. Like I said, I'm a senior at the university. And one thing I can say is my university is at least better than one thing at you all, basketball. But what I'm talking today is, you can see that little blurb in front of you. It says the value of community. Now, this is a very broad term because it's meant to be. The community can do a great number of things if provided the opportunity. Now, what I'm going to speak about is what a community can do on 3 levels. The first one is an individual, what a community can do for one person in times of trouble. The second level is what a community can do for a specific group of people. Not the community as a whole, but a very small subset. And the third is what a community can do for itself when faced with significant times of trouble. Now, the first level I'm going to talk about is the individual. Now, what I'm speaking about is personal experience. When I was 7, I was diagnosed with cancer, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. It's one of the most common types of cancer for children. And what I was told is, it was relatively treatable, but it would take a significant amount of time, and it would be probably one of the worst experiences of my life, as, cancer is. It kind of sucks. So what I remember is I was in the hospital for a month. Coast Children's Hospital. It was a horrible time. Lots of different kinds of treatment. I had no idea what was going on. I remember eating, just the best food in the world, and I would throw up because it tasted like, dog crap. Not a good experience. But I remember one time coming back from a treatment, and I come back, and I go to the room, I look around, and I see all these paper hands are completely surrounding my room. And I'm not really sure what this is, and I start reading, there's names on them. I start reading the names, and I recognize that name, and I recognize that name, and that name, and I find out it's my entire grade school had cut out cardboard hands and signed their names on it and put it all around my room so that, so I would know that they were there for me, no matter if they were physically there or not. It's those kinds of motivation that really gets someone who's not having the best time in the world and really gets them doing something better and thinking about something a lot better than, their 13th round of chemo in the last month. And again, I remember there's this little town outside of Louisville called Bardstown. Now, there's nothing really there except there's this convent. I've never met them in my life, but what I remember is being told that they prayed for me every single day. And every single day they'd pray for me, and eventually when I was cured, they decided to put a picture of me up there in their convent, and because I was their miracle. I was the person that they had saved through their prayer. And it's things like these that really bring someone from the brink of despair, which I was at that time, to where I can just ignore anything that's going on. Now, there's one other thing that really motivated me, and this is Camp Quality. A few of you may have heard of this because there's about 25 camps across the country, but it's for children with cancer. So, of course, I went the first opportunity I could get, and instead of being at camp where I was told I can't do that, I can't do that, I can't do that, I was told, do whatever you want. For example, I'm a kid who loves to swim. Absolutely love it, but I had a central line, which means I can't swim anywhere. I can't take a bath because I can't get water in it. But they had the specially designed, pack and everything like that that's sealed onto my skin, and they made sure I could go and swim and have a great time. Now, I'm one of 60 kids every year that goes to this camp, and that's just that camp in Kentuckiana. There's, like I said, 25 other camps with similar numbers of kids, and all these kids have a summer camp experience. Now, obviously, my experience was amazing, and for this group, it's amazing for every single kid. It's their best week of the year. That's what every single kid says, and on our camp Facebook page, all you see is, 51 weeks until camp comes around because that's all they want. Now, what happens there's a group of volunteers called companions. This is normal camp counselors, but because of the special needs of the children, each kid has one companion. Now, these people give a week of their time, 24 hours a day, to be with this kid and make sure he has the best time of his life. And obviously, these are some of the best people I've ever met in my life. They come from everywhere in the country. I've seen people from Chicago, Michigan, because of these personal bonds they build. I've heard stories of companions who they have 1 week off a year from their work, and they come to camp. They don't go to a vacation. They don't go visit family. They go spend this time at camp. Now, obviously, a camp like this requires charitable donations. And this is our 25th year of camp. And one of the major groups that donate to us has donated over $1.2 million for these children to have this 1 week where they can be kids. That is amazing to me, that these groups will work year after year just so that we can have that week. We ask nothing back from them. We ask nothing from them, but they continue to do that for us. Now, recently, the camp has been located in this campsite in Henryville, Indiana. Now, some of you may know that town was almost absolutely destroyed by the tornado system that came by a couple years ago. And I got to talking to the camp director about, how that was, what kind of experience that was for them. And it was Country Lake Christian Retreat, directed by one of the larger churches in the area. And he told me that what he saw was fantastic, amazing even. There's 700 odd houses destroyed. A tornado so strong it picked up a school bus and threw it through the nearest high school. Those kind of winds can kill anybody. And what he saw happen was the survivors, they would come flooding into his retreat. There'd be a few people here, a family there, a couple kids here, all coming in because they need something hot to eat and they need a bed that's warm because the camp was thankfully not affected. But what he saw is he was going to run out of food very quickly until he was in a conversation with one of his camp staff and he looks outside his window. What he sees is this person who he recognizes from his church, and he gets him to come on in. And he starts talking to him. He's like, "What are you doing here?" Well, it turns out the guy is the owner of Value Market. Now, you all may not know this, but Value Market is a chain of grocery stores similar to like Kroger or the Walmart, grocery store. And he just says one simple question: "What do you need?" And Ross Connect, the camp director, says, "Well, I got food for about 400 people, and I got 300 people here, and we're expecting another 600 people." He's like, "I got you." Within an hour, a semi pulls up with food for 1,000 people, and the semi driver says, "There's 3 more semis like this on the way." Just no charge, no nothing. Just he knew there was something that was needed, and he brought it. In addition to this, those 700 houses I told you that were destroyed, not all of them had insurance to cover it. A number of them did, and they got their insurance to cover everything, but there's around 170 of them that had either no insurance or completely minimal insurance. That means those people were not going to have a house. So what they did, they found the camp resort, housed them for a little while, and volunteers poured in from not only Henryville, but the surrounding church communities and other places. So with completely volunteer help, those 170 houses that were destroyed in March 2011 are completely rebuilt at this point. That's all volunteer help, donations, things like that. If Henryville, Indiana, a very small town in southern Indiana, can do all of this on its own, imagine what any community can do, any city, any state can do for itself in times of trouble. And even before times of trouble, if you see a poor person on the street, why can't you help them out? Why can't you do these things? Because remember, it's not just about helping the community or just a specific group, but there may be that one individual that if you help them out will truly mean the world to them, even if they can't say it at the time. Thank you.